Welcome back to Stamping at the Warren, and I'm Kim Tolton, and today I'm sharing with you this really quick and easy Christmas card to make, and I think the star of this show is really the gold cording trim and this beautiful Wonderland embellishment. The stamp set that I'm using is Oh What Fun. Really fab Christmas sentiment stamp set, and great for tags, which we will be coming to tags, but obviously this card here you could very simply adapt into a tag just by putting a tag topper to the top of it, and you've got your, this section here is your tag already. So it's a way of coordinating tags with cards. Anyway, to make this card, your first thing is to make your card base, and this is a regular A6 card base. So you trim your cardstock to 21 centimeters by 14.8 centimeters, and then you score through the middle of the long side at 10.5 centimeters, and you just want to fold so the ridge is on the inside and burnish that fold with your bone folder. And normally you would then I would then say to you, right, pop that to one side, well, not happening today, slightly different approach today. And the reason for showing this card is to really show how quick and simple it can be if you're a complete novice. So if this is, the first few cards that you're making, this is the way to go, just to get you started and to gain your confidence, and very little in the way of skills required. So the Designer Series paper, which is just a decorative paper, so the Designer Series paper, which Stampin' Up ones are always, pretty much always double-sided, and this is from the Home for Christmas Designer Series pack, and I've just trimmed this to 14.4 centimeters by 10.1 centimeters, and what we're going to do, just to increase a little bit of interest in this piece of Designer Series paper and to age it a little bit and make it a bit more festive, we're just going to sponge. So you want your cherry cobbler ink pad open, a piece of stamping sponge, and then what you're going to do is sponge all around the edges. Now all you need to do is tiny circles to start off with, so literally just tiny circles all the way around the edge. And this is a very intense colour, so you probably won't need to re-ink the sponge, and that way you get extra interest, because there'll be different colours, different tones of the same colour I should say, by inking up just the once. And with the residual ink, and if the camera's wobbling, I'm sorry, it's the it's my motion. So, and then through the middle, I don't want you to colour in the whole section of it, but just in a few areas, just add some patches, so as if it's aged paper, but we're doing it with red. So we're doing it with a beautiful intense cherry cobbler. Okay, and then just turn it over, and with your fast fuse, you want the cassette quite parallel to the card, or the Designer Series paper, and you go down, get to the bottom and flick, and then the other side, go down, get to the bottom and just flick the other way, and that will stop you getting in a pickle with this. Make sure that you're sticking this on the front of your card with the wording, show it facing the right way, not upside down. And yes, I'm an experienced card maker, and yes, I still make that boo-boo from time to time. And just mount that straight onto your card front. Next is to do the little banners, and to make the banners we're using the banner triple banner punch here, so you can actually have 3 different sizes of cardstock, and you can make your banners as long as you like. So with this particular one, I've gone for a piece of cherry cobbler cardstock to keep it all coordinated, that measured 5 centimeters wide by 9.7 centimeters long. And then it goes in the punch, and you simply pop it in, and I'll show you when we come to doing the other banner. Alright, so that's that bit. Now, I was originally going to use this bit as well, and I decided, no, I'm not so keen anymore, but I'm going to show you how to use the punch. So you flick it open, there's a catch on the bottom, flick it open, and you can see it's got a very broad base. Now, normally I tell you to work with your punches upside down. With this one you don't need to, it's got a nice firm base. You simply slot your piece of card or your piece of decorative paper, and you want to make sure it stays on the guide on the right side so it doesn't wobble off. If you really can't go without sneaking a peek, put your finger on it and flip it over to make sure it's in the right place. Okay, and then you simply punch with the heel of your hand. Pop it out, and there's your banner. Now, you could have that 12 inches long, you could have it 2 inches long, you could have it 1 inch long if you really wanted to. So you can just make that banner whatever size you want it to be, and that's exactly how I made this banner here. Right, so what we're going to do next is create a pattern on this piece of card. So again, the reason I haven't closed up my ink pad is because we're going to create a background, and using stamps to create a background is brilliant because it means you don't have to have lots and lots of different card and paper around. You can actually create it yourself, and we're using a technique called first and second generation stamping, and all that means is you're gonna stamp twice before you re-ink. And if you notice, I'm stamping off the page as well. So stamping off the page just means that the stamp isn't completely on the piece of card, and it gives a more natural feel. And just rotate your banner around as you work, and there you are, there's your banner. Do we need this one again? I think we do, yes we do. Right, so now you're going to put some gold cording trim on the back. So just pull some of the cording trim, and I've gone with the gold. I just think that some colours work better with one than the other. So I think blues work beautifully with silver, so does green, but red just seems to be perfect for working with gold. So I tend to keep those colours together, not always, and sometimes I use a combination of both. It's just down to how I feel on the day. Right, so just snip off that cord, and then on the back of your piece of card you've just stamped, just put a couple of pieces fast fused like this, and this is just going to catch a little of the cording trim so it just doesn't go completely wayward before you've got your banner onto your card. So it just picks up some of that. Right, then you're going to pop up this banner, now my sheet, you can see here my sheet is almost, not quite, but almost finished, and that is it. I've used up all the dimensionals on that page. Don't ever throw this away, because these sections here you can cut down and you can use them as well, so don't waste them. Pop your dimensionals on, making sure that you're not going to be able to think I've gone too far with that one. So So you just want to make sure that it's not going to be seen from the other side once it's on the card front. So just take the backing off. And when you're first making cards, I think the best way is to get all of your cardstock cut to size, and then you can check your layers. Then you can check that you've got everything as you want it to be, and then it's just a case of building it. Alright, and leave the bulk of your stamping right till the end, and that way you're less likely to get your card all messed up. Right, the next part is to stamp your sentiment. And for this I'm using very vanilla cardstock, and the reason I've gone for very vanilla cardstock is because, I don't know if you can see, but the designer series paper, the background to that is very vanilla, and black. So rather than going with a different colour altogether, I thought I would stick with black for the sentiment and very vanilla for the actual banner. So I'm using the new archival ink pad. Now you can't use Stays On ink cleaner on photopolymer stamps because it will, the cleaner will cause it to deteriorate. So it's really important that with your photopolymer stamps you clean them straight away with stamping mist so that they don't deteriorate. So straight down, press. Don't ever press too hard with a photopolymer stamp, otherwise you're likely to get a distorted image. That can be closed, and then just going to create the banner ends to this. And again I bring in that punch, there we go, and I'm going to do it on both sides. So this time this is 2.8 centimeters wide, and that fits in that very last, the smallest groove on the punch. So you do one end, rotate it round, do the other end, make sure it's in the guide properly, otherwise you get a wonky banner, and punch, pop those away. And then a final bit of sponging, and this is just using the residual ink on that stamp. Look, right, I've tried to do that before the ink was dry, so that's silly of me. In which case, turn around, turn this cardstock over. So I'm going to do this bit first. See, even I make cock-ups all the time. Right, so I've done the sponging, and now I'm going to go back and re-stamp the sentiment. Don't throw cardstock away. If you can turn it over and reuse it, do. It's very unusual for you to not be able to turn it over and reuse, so it reduces your wastage. Right, stamp that in the middle. There you go. And this is going to go down whichever way you want. I think I'm going to go that way. So just be careful, because obviously this takes a little bit, and I've just done it again. My last project I managed to ink up my thumb, and I've just done it again. Ugh. Right, so whilst that's drying, I'm just going to put a piece of fast fuse on here. It doesn't take long to dry, it takes a few seconds, but where I'm working I've rushed it because YouTube doesn't like it if your video goes too long after 15 minutes. Right, and the last bit. Now the other day I was going, I can't find my Wonderland embellishments. I found them. This is a Winter Wonderland embellishment, and this is what's going to give a bit of sparkle onto this project. So just pop a glue dot on the back. Make sure it's in position, and there you go. And you could make that so easy in really large quantities, and your family and friends would be able to get a handmade card made just by you. How wonderful would that be? And there are some real bargains to get at the moment in my online store. The details for that and all of my social media is in the more information section underneath today's video, or on my blog at www.stampingatthewarren.blogspot.co.uk. And there's links to get you straight to my online store. Alternatively, via my blog, you'll see product icons for the items I've used in any particular day, and you just click on those and it will take you straight through to my online store. So really easy to get ordering. If you have any questions, if you are completely new to stamping and looking at a new craft, then by all means contact me, please do, and I'll help you out with what you need for your starter kit, and trying to help you get some coordinating products so that you get yourself on your way. Alright, anyway, that's it for today, and I'll speak to you again tomorrow. Ta-ta for now.